All right, kids. Dave Shaw telling like it is NBA playoffs 2023. Let's start with a couple of things here. As we've said in the past, NBA playoff shows from last year, 2022. Some really fun shows. We always said at this playoff, we need to make some suggestions, and I was a little disappointed. Happy that they got a new CBA, but disappointed that they didn't make the necessary adjustments to make the playoffs better. Talked about how no playoff in any sport is impacted as much as NBA by injuries, with players playing less during the season and try to amp it up during the playoffs when the only time they really play defense, and it's not a glorified pickup game at Maple Avenue here in Smithtown Park. They get hurt we come into the playoffs before games even start here after the play-ins. Congratulations to the Heat, by the way, for getting it done. And they're playing in the Hawks, and Lakers getting it done in their playing game, and the T-Wolves. But the thing is, we were hoping for a 72-game schedule, no load management, and then maybe guys would be a little bit healthier, no back-to-backs. If we could eliminate those couple of things in the CBA, I think we just might have more health in the playoffs. But we don't. We're happy to have a CBA, so we'll keep having basketball. But at the same time, I really wish they would have made that adjustment. Just accept the fact that we get 10 less games. I don't even know if that was brought up. 72 games, no back-to-backs. I think that would have been really good for but then no load management. Make like everybody else's other three major leagues. If you're out, you go on a DL. You're on a 10-day DL, make a 15-day O, maybe a 5-day DL. You make it sports efficient. So whatever basketball's version of those days would be in those numbers, let basketball do that. Been something that we've talked about for a long time, but they didn't do it. But we're happy anyway. Very happy to have playoff basketball. This fella right here is Magic Johnson, and now that LeBron is back in the playoffs, you're going to hear all the Bron sexuals out there. Put up all the Bron stats. He's leads in playoffs in this, playoffs in that, except the triple-double stat, which again shows the complete player. And Magic has the most of those, has played half the games in the playoff as LeBron has, and still has about 10 more than he does. So while we're talking about the GOATs, purple and gold GOAT, the original purple and gold GOAT, him and Kareem actually, and Wilt and Jerry West and people of that nature. But so before we do that, half the playoff games, less than half the playoff games, 10 and 11 more triple doubles. So let's just put that one to bed right there. But here we are in the playoffs, like I said, and we got the playoff bracket on the board here. It's always an exciting time of year. Heat Bucks series. We'll start with their 1-8. Bucks with a 1 seed. I really felt the Bucks would have repeated last year if they had Middleton, just like I felt Baylor would have repeated the NCAA if they didn't get hurt. But you can't cry over spilled milk. When you look at the statistics for the season statistics, Bucks have about 8.8 rebounds more per game. And when you watch the Heat, you do see a lack of availability on that board there. Bam Adebayo is a great player, but he's not the greatest rebounder, and he needs help. And I just don't see it there. I think the Bucks are going to win this series on the backboard unless the Heat shoot the hell out of it. I just don't see. The season series was 2-2. Holiday, I think, is going to do a great job on Butler in key moments. He probably won't cover him the whole game, but I think he'll do a great job on him in key moments. He's a modern day Dennis Johnson. I really love Drew Holiday. He's one of my favorite players, not my favorite player right now. Can Middleton be what he was? This is what we're going to have to find out the whole series. He's got some nagging knee injuries right now. We have to see what he can do. They only played a couple of games this year with all three, with being Middleton, Drew, and Giannis, the freak. The Heat's one of the lowest teams in offense. They might need to play 5 out to try to get that weird matchup. Adebayo could play 5 out. If you do that, Lopez goes to the bench, takes away one of their better outside shooters. So here's where, as a coach, I love the tick for tack thing. I mean, can you try to enforce your style of play on somebody else and see if they bite? And if they don't, see if you can punish them. If you can't punish them, then your style of play and trying to get them to bite is meaningless. But at the same time, maybe they have to adjust to you. If not, and it doesn't work out, The best laid plans of mice and men, as they say. But the thing is, if you can play five out, that definitely hurts. 34% from three to heat shot this year. That's pretty low. It's one of the top five lowest in the league. Bucks have so much depth. You know, got Carter, Allen, Ingles, Hill, all at guard, just providing so much depth. It's just such a good team, and I think that they have a style of play where they're playing 8, 9, 10 guys a night. He could be a live dog based on the ability to shoot and Jimmy Butler, but Robinson has been a bust on that contract signing. That's one that Pat Riley wishes he could have back. He shouldn't even be in the freaking league anymore. And if he is, it should be the minimum. This guy's in the G League who definitely better than him right now, but they got infected by that. Tyler Hero's got to play a little bit. Played pretty well. He played spotty the other night. I thought that they beat the Bulls last night in a really nice game. It's Saturday, by the way, and here in New York. But like I said, they're a live dog if the five out works. If it doesn't work, I think they're in trouble. Kyle Lowry's a good player, but I think he's on his last legs. I felt like the Bulls, if they had kept Kobe White in, would be playing today. Kobe White was hot down the stretch. He was 5 for 8 in the last 3-4 minutes on the court when they don't score a bucket. He's sitting on the bench. I love Billy, but I think he missed that one. I'd have to say Bucks in 5 or 6 here. But again, Bucks, rely so much on outside shooting too. We'll see, but we'll have to see if that five out changes anything. But I just think the depth of the Bucks is going to wear them out. Bobby Portis too, just such a great player. There's just so many good players, and the Bucks have great role players and things of that nature. Celtics Hawks 2-7. This is a really weird series. I'm a big believer that Trae, unless he makes some adjustments in his game and his body, that he's already on the way down. He's started to become a volume shooter. Don't get me wrong. He's got the guts of a cat burglar, and he can definitely hurt you. But at the same time, I just don't think he's on the way up anymore. He hasn't changed his body, and he's starting to take a pounding. Everything's on the perimeter right now. Celtics won the season series 3-0. The Celtics are really good at getting matchups that I think they're going to attack Trae on the defensive end, much like teams did to Curry. So that's something that Trae's going to have to get a hold of. The Hawks did hurt the Celtics on the backboard. They averaged versus the Celtics more points per game on the offensive board than any other team this year. 19 points per game on a backboard against the Celtics, and the Hawks are a live dog. Just because if you look at the rosters, I believe the Hawks are as talented as the Celtics. Yeah, they might not have a Tatum or a Brown, but they do have so many good players, just really good players, very young players. And if they could ever keep this team together and get traded buy-in, I mean, who knows what the thing could be. I mean, I expected more from the Hawks this year, but, he's bitching at Quinn Snyder in a timeout last week. He's bitching at Nate McMillan during the season. It's the same old crap. The statistic you're going to see a lot with the Sixers and the Celtics in this playoffs is that they're in the top 5 in offense and defensive efficiency, and that's usually a great sign. That's an overrated statistic. That's like the old it's hard to beat a team 3 times bull crap. That's a narrative that if you look up the actual numbers, it doesn't mean crap, because there are plenty of teams that have done really well being in the top 5 in offense and defense. There have been some teams that have dropped out after a round or two in top 5 defense or offense. It's about matchups and styles. Even though the NBA doesn't have as much varying styles as college, it still is about matchups and personalities and coaching adjustments in a 7-game series. I still say the Hawks are Salem's a lot scary. That's how scary they are. They're the kids scratching at the window, asking Mark to come out and play. I mean, they are a scary bunch because they are so talented. I just think that Brogdon and Hauser, White provide great depth for the Celtics. Not to mention the big guys up front, Horford, Williams. Horford said it this last year. But the Hawks have some scary talent too. You got Griffin, you got Bay, you got Holiday for the Hawks. They have great depth, but they're very young. I really like Collins in this series too. I feel like he's a good player. I really think the Celtics have all the pressure on them. It's hard when you go to a finals and lose because everybody wants to start the season in the finals. As a coach, you experienced these kind of things before. It just doesn't work like that. And so the thing is, you're going to have to get all the way back. After you get a close game, the Celtics really have nothing to gain. They're expected to win this series, but the Hawks are better than the 7 seed. It's another thing about the NBA playoffs these days. We've seen higher seeds lose a lot in the last several years because the regular season is not taken seriously by the players. You go back and look at the last 30 years of basketball and look at 20 to 30 years ago and go back, those 1 and 2 seeds hardly ever lost. People talk about Sonics versus Nuggets. Yeah, you can remember that because it hardly ever happened. Heat Knicks in a shortened season in a series, in a 5-game series. But today, the regular season just doesn't mean as much to the players. As like I said, is load management, so it's hard to really get a grip of whether a team is a 1 seed or an 8 seed. Now the Hawks, we know they're a lot more talented than a 7 seed. They've just had some chemistry issues. They got some growing up to do. Like I said, it's just going to be interesting. I think the Celtics can find a way, but at the same time, there is a ton of talent on this Hawk team. I mean, Griffin Bay and Holiday just coming in, just provide a ton of depth. Capella's playing well. They're a tough team. The Hawks are no doubt a tough team, and they're going to be hurt, and they're going to take their best shot too. They're a little bit cocky. They're a little bit like the Grizz. The Hawks have a great backcourt. It's scary how good this team could be. So we have to see whether they can rally and find out or not. But I have to take the Celtics in 6 at this moment. But that's the live dog. Like I said, that's Salem's lot scary for you, all the fans out there. You know what that means. Sixers Nets. This game's just about tipped off a couple of minutes ago. I just don't know if I'm the Nets. It's all about setting a trap. You got to invite Embiid to shoot the jump shot. At least he's not around for the offensive board. They got nobody for him on the low block. Claxton's a great defender, whole NBA defender, but the thing is, he's just given up too much size, too much weight. This is where they would have loved to have kept Jarrett Allen, but hey, that's a long time ago now. Crazy stuff, a lot of talent in this game too. I'm rooting for the Nets. I mean, I know they're only 13 and 18 since the trade. They did enough to keep the 6 seed. We're all rooting for the Nets. They've chased a bunch of coaches out of town. Now those players are out of town, thank God. But a lot of drama in this series. It could have been the best drama series. A lot of stats on paper look even, but then again, no team has gone through more changes in since their original leaving of training camp as the Nets have. The Nets are now a totally different team. Sixers were 4-0, 2-0 against the new guys. Again, top to bottom on the Sixers stats, same thing with the BS. I'd try to just bait Embiid into shooting jumpers. At least you have a fighting chance that way. Claxton is quick enough, just not strong enough to handle him on that block. Nets 43% from 3 after the deadline. That's pretty damn good. Shot really well. Tucker and Tobias are the keys for the Sixers, but the Sixers are so deep too, and Doc's got to be feeling a lot of pressure. It's time for Doc to deliver. He's a guy that, I don't know, I thought he's done a poor job for a long time. I like him, but I don't know. You got Melton, you got Theifel, you got Niang, you got Milton off the bench. I mean, just really tough players. They're a very talented team, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of pressure on Harden is going to be good, but it's Harden the same guy that's going to get to the basket anymore, or is he just going to settle for that Jay? He has had a nice quiet year, which is nice to see for a change. James being under the radar, he has had a good season. The Nets, Thomas, Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas got to step up. Harris and Mills, they can all shoot the ball. The Nets are going to have to rely on the perimeter game because Claxton doesn't give you enough great amounts on the offensive end. They don't really have anybody that gets their own shot. I think the 6 and 5 here would be the way to go. As I'm getting texts for spring league, which starts Monday night, by the way. So pretty scary stuff for the Nets on the defensive end of the floor. I don't see them beating the Sixers in the series as we go forward. And then we go over to the Cavs and the Knicks here in New York. This is a tricky series. This is a lot about how Tibbs handles the series. It really is. It's something about is Tibbs going to be? Is he going to give in and give Randall the whole shebang if Randall's health is less than 100%? I'd still start Toppin. Knicks are a totally different team with Toppin. They're so athletic. I know Randall's a better player than Toppin, but the Knicks can do some things in transition. The ball swings. The ball doesn't get stuck. And I know Randall's their best player on paper, but I really think that if I was him, I'd bring him back a little bit at a time. I think this team could really make a deeper run, maybe get a series win if they could find a way to just keep him in place where he's coming in and playing maybe 15 to 20 to 25 minutes a night. Let Toppin get his minutes too, because I think the Knicks are a totally different team when the ball clicks. They're dangerous as hell in transition when Toppin's on the floor. I know he's not as good an offensive player, but at the same time, he gives them a different look than what happens when Randall's on the floor. Knicks average 5 boards per game more than the Cavs. A lot of talent on the Cavs. Mobley and Allen in the post with their shot blocking abilities are going to be tough. Mobley, one of the underrated players in the league. Tough matchups in the post. Although the Knicks, I love Robinson in the post. Garland and LeVert got to help Mitchell out. What are we going to get out of Danny Green? He's been banged up, the Long Island product. He hasn't played well. Bronson and Quickly, Grimes. That's a tough combination right there. Barrett's got to step up. Knicks with 3-1 versus the Cavs. Knicks had a bad record in close games this year, but they did win 2 close games out of 3 versus the Cavs. That's 5 points and under. Like I said, what are we going to do with John? What are we going to do with not John Randall? He's an announcer for WFAN. What are we going to do with Randall? Is he going to let him come back and establish the ball being killed the minute he touches it? I just don't think he's the kind of guy quickness wise going to carry you to a playoff series win. Mitchell's going to come out and try to get his. This is going to be a great series. Starts tonight at 6:00. I'm really happy for the Knick fans and the Net fans. Coach Fabian's big Knick fan out there. Happy for him. Shout out. Alan Flory, big Buck fan. Jake Cosgrove, big Sixer fan. We're wishing them well for their teams. I'm rooting for the Nugs and the Nets. I really like Jamal Murray. Happy he's back, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this Cav-Knick matchup, I got a toss up on this one. Cavs have the home seed, so I'm feeling if Toppin plays a lot, I'm going to go with Knicks. Let's go to that Western Conference over here. Nuggets versus the Wolves. The Wolves, a little disappointed in this year. I thought they would take the next step. They got some great talent on the team. The first thing I'll say about this game, Rudy says he's the best defender of all time a couple of times this year. Discussed that on some of these NBA websites with some of these fans who actually believe that. You can tell they've got 25 with gel in their hair. I haven't watched a basketball game. Let's see you prove it. Covered a 2-time MVP, maybe 3-time MVP, who does a lot of things. But more importantly, that is the health of Cat. Karl-Anthony Towns has to be healthy. Can Gordon defend him? He's a great athlete, great specimen. We'll see if he can defend him. I love Gordon. I love this team. I love Murray. Have to see if Murray's health heats up. His thumb is banged up right now. He's going against Mike Conley, who's old and reliable veteran. So this is going to be a great matchup. Porter's the key, though. I really feel like Porter and Gordon make the Nugs because I think you're going to get solid play at a Joker, obviously. But, Pope, Brown, and Highland, are they going to step up? Pope can. Brown and Highland going to step up for the Wolves. Rivers and Anderson. I think the size of the Wolves could also bother the Nugs. I really believe that. Rivers and Anderson for the Wolves are going to be tough. But if you look at the Wolves across the line now, they got 3 good guys. Now, if Karl-Anthony Towns would ever mix it up between him and Rudy, they could grab a ton of boards if they would do that. But we'll see. If the size of the Wolves can bother them, I think the boards will be a key here. We'll see what Rivers and Anderson does. We'll see if the chemistry's right. Sometimes those fights can get these teams focused. We've all been a part of those as coaches. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I'll definitely go with the Nugs here. But the Wolves are a dangerous team for the Nuggets simply because of the size on the backboard. And if they're motivated, which they should be, they can be a pesky team. Now, let's be honest. The Wolves have more talent than an 8 seed. We all know that. That's what we mentioned before. Some of these teams, they're better than their record. And nobody says your record says what it is, but not in an 82-game season, it doesn't. Excuse me. Grizzly Lakers. Drama. They'll be all over this. They already got LeBron scheduled for 3:00 for this game. They'll be all over him. Lakers were 2-1 during the season. Bane and Brooks, are they ready? Brooks likes to pop off at the mouth. Bane is a good player. Whistle is what the series is all about. They're going to give LeBron every call and make this goddamn thing a free throw contest and give this guy who cries on every call and flops at the drop of a hat. They're going to give him every call. If they do, it's not going to work out. You got Russell and Vanderbilt. How are they going to do? Vanderbilt's been good for the Lakers. You got Jones and Kennard on the other side. Provide great depth for the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies' depth is better. Is Ja going to be focused, or is all this other distractions going to make him crazy? Is he going to be able to concentrate? There's so much drama in this series. There's actually too many questions to answer in this series. There's 20 questions. I mean, we just popped off about 5 or 6 of them. Like, what are you going to get out of Ja? How's he going to be? I mean, it's just incredible what we have. Adams' health. I mean, he's out. It looks like he's not going to play at all. Without Adams, they're just not big enough. They have no Clark, no Adams. Are they going to be able to handle AD and LeBron on the board? If I'm LeBron, I play power forward in this series, and I just clean up on the backboard. I pitch it to the young fellas, and I let them run. Clean up on the board. I just don't see how the Grizz are going to have enough on the board. The Grizz are tough. They are younger. They got better legs, but at the same time, you got to rebound. No rebounds, no rings. Pat Riley famously quoted that one. But the rebounds and a lack of depth up front, it's going to be tough. You got Beasley, Schroeder, Reeves, and Walker for the Lakers. There's some talent there. If I were the Lakers, I'd play a few more guys in the rotation. I'd definitely play 8 or 9 here. And I know you say, well, you got to win one series to get out, but it's not going to do you any good when you have LeBron James to win one series and then bow out because you're all tired the next series. I really believe you got to play 8 or 9 here if you're the Lakers. I think the Lakers could definitely win this series. This is going to be a 7-game series, hopefully. I still think the Lakers are going to win because of the rebounds. I'll be rooting for the Grizz, but unless the Grizz find somewhere on the board, maybe Jackson on the board could help out. But again, got to have some rebounding. No Adams. It's going to be really rough. I'll take the Lakers in 7. Kings Warriors. Oh my goodness. Talk about some good drama here. I've never seen a 3 seed get disrespected like this, but hey, that's okay. Do the Warriors give a crap? That's my big question. We're at 11-30 on the road, which is a damn disgrace with that kind of talent. Road record is disgusting. Old legs, and I don't mean years, I mean amounts of games. We've seen this before. Teams break down after they have 5 NBA finals in a row. Of course, you're playing into June. You've actually played another season and plus 20 games over the years. Wiggins healthy. Looks like he's healthy. Wiggins can cover everybody, and he's going to be fresh. Warriors won 3 out of 4 during the season. Great situation. De'Aaron Fox coming out party versus Curry. The key matchup is if they're going to try to put Curry on Fox or somebody else, because if Curry's covering Fox, Fox is going to murder him. Steph's a decent defender these days, but he just can't handle Fox, and Fox is an excellent defender when he's motivated. How are they going to put Draymond on Sabonis and mess with him? Sabonis has a temper. Is Draymond going to, get under his skin? Draymond can get under Mother Teresa's skin and make the Pope angry. Is the rookie Murray from Iowa ready? I mean, he's a big-time player. Is he ready? You're going to have Moody, Poole, all right? You got Dante, you got Kuminga. I mean, you just so much depth for the Warriors. We'll be interested to see what the rotations look like, and every series is different. But the big X factor here is Barnes, Mr. Barnes, the former Warrior. Really happy for him. It's a key. He's been through it before. You got Herter, you got Monk. I really think depth in these series is underrated. If you want to play faster, I think it definitely helps. And Lyles is underrated as a player. I got the Kings winning the series. I'll be rooting for the Warriors because of Steph, but I love Fox. Fox and Monk are 2 of my favorites, and Gilgeous Alexander is one of my favorites too. So those are probably my 3 favorite guards these days. But at the same time, I love my man Fox. So I'll be rooting probably for either team because I really like the Warriors, but at the same time, like I said, I love seeing the Fox man. It's good to see the Kings back in the playoffs. Like I said, but Barnes being the old Warrior here, gonna be a problem. Like I said, I think the Kings will find a way here, but geez, this one I would never touch this game with 10 football if it was a betting man. Thank God I'm not. And last but not least, more drama. Suns Clippers. This is the old Band-Aid series. John Wall's out. Is Paul George going to be healthy? I mean, Jesus Lord. Kevin Durant's played only X amount of games with this team. This is the old Band-Aid series. Durant, George are going to cover each other. All right. Chris Paul agenda in the media. I mean, this guy, they keep telling us, he's a top 5 point guard. Let me break it for you. He's not a top 5 point guard of all time. He just is. Don't tell me he's better than Magic. Don't tell me he's better than Oscar. Don't tell me he's better than Isaiah. Isaiah Thomas would crap all over him. So don't tell me he's better than Walt Frazier either. Don't tell me he's better than Jerry West. Don't tell me he's better than Steph Curry. I mean, right there, we're already gone like 6 or 7. So let's just forget it. But the media will push this Chris Paul narrative, and everything he does gets blown out of proportion. They pushed it several years ago. They keep pushing it. It's like this love affair with Chris Paul. I know he's leader of the Players Union, but sorry, not a top 5 point guard. Just because you're playing well now in the series doesn't make you a top 5 point guard. It's okay. If it's not an insult to you all time, if you're not a top 5 point guard, focus on being top 15. Craig for the Suns going to be a big position. Batum's going to be tough. All right, we got Powell, we got Jackson, and we got Russell Westbrook, who personally just gets the rap for everything. I think Russell Westbrook was responsible for the Kennedy assassination, according to Laker fans. It's ridiculous. The drama is ridiculous. You got Morris, Zubac, and Gordon. Can they provide anything for the Clips? I just don't see how the Clips are healthy enough to win this. I don't think the Suns are great, but I just don't see how the Clips are healthy enough to win this. I just don't see it unless Paul George is really motivated. I would love to have seen this team with Wall, George, Westbrook, and the silent killer. I would love to see those 4 guys on the court for the Clips, but it's not going to happen. But Leonard would have been had those 3 guys around him. I think we could have really got some stuff done here, but I just don't see how it's going to happen. I don't know. It's going to be tough. We'll see what the Suns get out of. Like I said, Morris, Zubac, and Gordon. We'll see. What's going to happen here. Actually, the Clippers, I should say, because this is going to be a great series. I don't know where to go here, but I think the Suns will find a way. It was 2-2 during the season. I think it's going to be a blast. But we're going to try to come back every week. We'll try to do it on Sundays, see if we can get some analysis of where each series is at. The bad news is is the NBA now likes to spread out the series to a point where it is just nauseating. You'll have 3 days off between games. They shouldn't do this. Favors the older team. It used to be in the old days you played every other day, sometimes even back to back. They shouldn't space it out and try to favor their older players with big names, and this is what they do. This is where it gets shameful and becomes entertainment at this point. But at the same time, we just want everybody to stay healthy. What is healthy, and we have a lot of injury problems already. But like I said, it's going to be tough. And then, in the next round, you see this thing on your screen here. It's going to be a lot of fun watching all this NBA basketball. And like I said, go Knicks for the New York fans here. Go Nets to the New York fans here. And it should be a lot of fun. I wish we play every other day. And hopefully by next weekend, some of these series will be 3 games in. Some of them will probably only be 2 games in. And again, it makes it uneven for some teams to have more rest than others. It's such crap. But we are happy to have basketball. We are happy not to have a lockout. But at the same time, we got to see what we get out of these series here. Hopefully we get competitive basketball. Hopefully we get healthy basketball. So for all of us here on Town Like It Is, NBA Playoffs 2023, we're ready to roll. We hope you enjoy it. See us on Spotify, see us on Apple, see us on Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube. Give us a shout. Let us know what you think. We'd love to have you on, but people get camera shy, man. People get camera shy. So we'll see you next time on Town Like It Is.